Hey guys, Stephen Cox here, and today I did a lot of the usual stuff. I played a church service, I taught a lesson, and then of course I did my usual daily cover songs. Now I've been doing the daily cover songs every day probably for the last 80 or 90 days, somewhere in that range. It might even be closer to 100. So um, I feel like I've gotten better as a singer. I've gotten better at learning songs quickly. However, I haven't gotten better at learning songs deeply. So if you're trying to learn stuff, I think it's cool to have two abilities. One is for when you have last minute learning and you've got to learn a whole bunch of songs at once. And that's what this cover song thing is helping with, where I spend maybe a maximum of 30 minutes on a song learning it. And the other way is learning deep, learning the song in depth as best as you can, capturing every single nuance in the vocal lines, every single nuance in the playing that you can. And I think there's a good benefit to both, depending on what kind of musician you are. If you're a general musician, like a sideman trying to perform with a whole bunch of different acts, it's good to have both of these because certain acts will give you more time but will require you to know the songs better. Whereas other acts, it'll be very, very last minute, and the whole idea there is just not make the band fall apart and make them sound better. So those are two different skills for two different situations, um, and I think that both are equally as important, especially as a bass player. But that's really about it for today. Is just figure out what kind of band you're in, figure out how much time you reasonably have. If you have a day to learn 10 songs, you're probably not going to learn them as in depth. So go ahead and learn the structure first, then learn the chords, and then add the details in that order. It's like learn all the songs with the structure and the chords, and then go back and add the details. Okay, and then with the more in-depth stuff, you may want to ask yourself things like dynamics. Go as far as first you start with the structure, then you go back in, you have some details of individual notes and individual lines, and then you go back in and you think about, okay, this section's louder than this other section, and you go, okay, he's playing staccato here versus playing legato, getting all the feel aspects right, and just all the little nuances that you can, given however many songs you have to learn over that longer period of time. So just a little input for you guys. I hope that helps a little bit. And that's about it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.